සංසාර සාරෝග විනීත නිසං සන්නේත සාතං සුචිසාරදීසං සන්දේරකං සොන්න තනුපලාසං සංලාපදේසින් පනමේ විසාසං බුද්ධං 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 වන්දේ ධම්මං 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 වන්දේ සංඝං 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 වන්දේ බුද්ධං ධම්මං සංඝං වන්දේ. Homage to the Buddha, homage to the Dhamma, the teachings of the Buddha, homage to the Sangha, the noble disciples of the Buddha, homage to the triple gem. Yoca buddhanca dhammanca sanghanca saranang gato chattari ariya sancani sammappaññāya passati ētaṃ ko saranang kemam ētaṃ saranamuttamam ētaṃ saranamāgamma sabbha dukkha pamuñcati. Venerable Sirs, monastics, friends in the Dhamma, we gather here for the full moon Poya day, the first full moon Poya day in this new year in January. As monks and monastics, we gather here on this Poya day and we discuss the Buddha's message. At this moment, I have selected some stanzas which comes in Dhammapada. One day, Buddha explained the real refuge that we can gain in this life. Many people in the world, they go to many places seeking some refuge. Some people go to mountains, some people go to forests, some people go to some rivers and seas, seeking some protection, happiness, refuge. But they have no real refuge going to those places. Buddha explained here what is the real refuge that we can make in our life. If a person goes to the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha, and also he goes to understand the Four Noble Truths, and finally he practices the Noble Eightfold Path, this is the real refuge, that is the greatest refuge. If a person can come to this refuge, he can end all the sufferings in his life. This is the meaning of this stanza. Buddha says there are some people seeking their happiness, seeking their refuge. They go to mountains, they go to far away, sometimes they go to some forests, jungles, some lakes, rivers, seas, thinking thus they may have some protection or refuge in those places. But Buddha says they are not real refuge. What is the real refuge? If a person can go to Buddha for refuge, Dhamma for refuge, Sangha for refuge, and also he can realize the Four Noble Truths, and finally if he can come to the Noble Eightfold Path, the practice of the Dhamma, this is the real refuge that a person can gain. Here we are going to understand the nature of the three refuge and the Four Noble Truths. If a person can understand the Buddha, it means he understands the Dhamma. If a person can understand the Dhamma, he can understand who the Sangha is. These three things are interrelated. The Buddha says very clearly, Yo Dhammam Passati, So Mam Passati, Yo Mam Passati, So Dhammam Passati. He who sees the Dhamma sees me, he who sees me sees the Dhamma. In another way, Buddha says, Yo Patissampadam Passati, So Dhammam Passati, Yo Dhammam Passati, So Patissampadam Passati. He who sees the dependent origination sees the Dhamma. He who sees the Dhamma sees the dependent origination. Look at here. Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, and also the understanding of the dependent origination are interrelated. In another way, understanding the triple gem leads to understand the Four Noble Truths. Whenever we associate the Dhamma, we understand who the Buddha is. When we understand the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, we understand the noble disciples, the community of Mahasangha. And also, whenever we understand these three refuges, we understand the main topic in Buddhism, which is the Patissampada, dependent origination, or Idappaccata, the cause and effect, causality. As a result of understanding the dependent origination, we directly focus on understanding the Four Noble Truths. The Noble Truth of suffering, and the Noble Truth of the arising of suffering, and the Noble Truth of the cessation of suffering, the Noble Truth of the path that leads to getting rid of suffering. Dukkha, Samudaya, Nirodha, Magga. If we have this understanding, we have real refuge, real protection. Whenever we are in this world, we are with the triple gem. Always the Buddha in our heart. Dhamma is in our heart. Noble disciples are in our heart. Always our heart is filled with the triple gem. And also we always reflect on these three things. The qualities of the Buddha, the qualities of the Dhamma, and the qualities of the Sangha. These are the meditation techniques. Buddha Anusati, Dhamma Anusati, and Sangha Anusati. Whenever we think these three things, we immediately come to the Dhamma. Always our mind is with the Dhamma. We are reflecting on the Dhamma. Whenever we see something, if we think there is a world, that is the nature of suffering, that is the clinging of the five aggregates. Whenever you think something, whenever you remember something, you think of something, if you think that thing is in outside world, it means we are in suffering, we are in the samsaric circle. As soon as we think there is something outside world, immediately our mind has an attachment with that thing. If you think our pet, our cat or the dog is in the outside world, then automatically we have desire, we have attachment. It doesn't mean that there is no pet or no dog or no cat outside world. Actually there is something, but it arises whenever we think it, whenever we see it, whenever we smell, whenever we meet it, we can see something. That experience arises at the moment, it immediately ceases at the moment. Our all experiences are like whenever we go to the mirror, The reflection arises at the moment. It disappears as soon as we leave the mirror. If we have this understanding, we don't go to the extremes as there is something, or eternalism, or as there isn't something, as nihilism. We come to the theory of 𝒮𝓃 when this is, when this is not, this is not. When these conditions and causes are here, this is here. When these conditions and causes are not here, this is not here. With this understanding, we know how suffering arises. Suffering arises because of contact, because of attachment, because of craving. Craving is the nearest reason of suffering. And also we understand the cessation of suffering. Whenever we have no craving, then immediately we overcome suffering. If we want to overcome suffering, we can't overcome tanha or craving. What should we do? We should have clear understanding about arising and ceasing of this circle, this mental formation. We have to overcome ignorance. When we overcome ignorance, the attachment immediately, automatically ceases. If we know this understanding, this experience has already ceased, then automatically we can overcome craving, since our mind doesn't depend on anything in the external world. We come to insight, what happens to my mind at this moment? That mind also arises and ceases at the moment. That is also impermanent. This is the place where we should be confident in what the Buddha taught. As soon as we come to this understanding, what happens to us? We meet the path, the Noble Eightfold Path. Right understanding, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. We have this path whenever we see this reality. Then we make this path as a refuge. With this understanding, we have a protection. Always we live with the triple gem, the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Always we are reflecting on the Four Noble Truths, suffering, the arising of suffering, the cessation of suffering, the path that leads to getting rid of suffering. With this understanding, always we are going forward on our path, which is the Noble Eightfold Path. The Buddha says, this is the fearless path. This is the direct path. This is the correct path. This is the very meaningful and clear path that directly helps us to overcome suffering completely. With this understanding, we conduct all the things according to the triple gem and according to the Noble Eightfold Path. We do all activities according to the Noble Eightfold Path based on understanding the triple gem, the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. Buddha says, 𝒮𝓃 ℒ𝒶𝓃. This is the real refuge. 𝒮𝓃 ℒ𝒶𝓃. This is the greatest refuge. 𝒮𝓃 ℒ𝒶𝓃 ℵ සබ්බ දුක්ඛා පමුඤ්චති. he who comes to this refuge will overcome suffering completely. Even though we go far away, seeking or meeting or finding something, that is not the real protection. That is not the real refuge. The real refuge is within us, practicing mindfulness with the Noble Eightfold Path based on the Triple Gem, the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Then we don't need to go far away finding happiness, finding refuge. Living in the same place where we are in, sitting in our room with our relatives and friends at the same place, we can practice Dhamma, we can make a refuge, we can gain protection. This is the clear protection. This is the greatest protection. He who comes to this protection will end all sufferings from his life. This is the most valuable thing. Later you can refer these stanzas in Dhammapada. There are 4 stanzas there. Read it again and again. That is very important. There are some stanzas here written in the stones. Did you see? Sabbe sankhara anicca yada paññāya passati atanibbindati dukkhe 𝐂𝐻𝐿𝒶𝓃 ℒ𝒶𝓃𝓀𝒶. All conditioned things are impermanent. He who sees this reality with wisdom overcomes suffering. Sabbe sankhara dukkha yada paññāya passati atanibbindati dukkhe 𝐂𝐻𝐿𝒶𝓃. All conditioned things are dissatisfactory. He who sees this reality with wisdom overcomes suffering. The third one is Sabbe Dhamma anattāti yada paññāya passati atanibbindati dukkhe 𝐂𝐻𝐿𝒶𝓃. All phenomena are selfless. He who sees this reality with wisdom overcomes suffering. This is the path to purity. Those 3 stanzas, please, if you didn't see, please go and look at it. The stones in this area, did you see it? There are 3 stanzas in Pali language and German language. Those 3 stanzas are very important in one side. On the other side, these stanzas that I recited here, which come in Dhammapada, that is also very important. Please write down those stanzas, look at it again and again, okay? Find the meaning in it again and again, reflect on it again and again, and try to realize the meaning of these stanzas. I think that is good enough for your whole spiritual life. You don't need many things. Especially those stanzas, that is also in Dhammapada. That's a very important thing. Those 3 stanzas also in Dhammapada. And these 4 stanzas are also in Dhammapada. Please look at it. There says, 𝑦𝐻 බුද්ධංච ධම්මංච සංඝංච සරණං ගතෝ චත්තාරි අරිය සත්‍යානි සම්මප්පඤ්ඤාය පස්සති. දුක්ඛං දුක්ඛ සමුප්පාදං දුක්ඛස්ස ජාතික්කමං අරියං චට්ඨංගිකං මග්ගං දුක්ඛෝප සමගාමිනං. ඒතං කෝ සරණං ඛේමං ඒතං සරණමුත්තමං ඒතං සරණමාගම්ම සබ්බ දුක්ඛා පමුඤ්චති. Please read these stanzas again and again. These stanzas are very useful for your whole spiritual life. Even though you don't read many things, these stanzas are good enough for your entire life. Okay, they are always, we should think the Triple Gem, the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. On the other side, we should understand the Four Noble Truths, dukkha, samudaya, nirodha, magga. And also, the more we understand suffering, the more we come to the path, the Noble Eightfold Path. Buddha says, if there is something which arises, that is suffering. If there is something which ceases, that is suffering. That is a very, very important explanation uttered by the Buddha. Buddha says, if there is something which appears in this world, that is suffering. If you find anything, this water, this flower, this vase, anything you find, what is that? That is suffering. Suffering means we have taken it, there is something at the moment. If there is something which disappears in this world, that is also suffering. If we immediately understand this experience has already ceased, it means we overcome suffering. That is the cessation of suffering. Buddha says, in the past and the present, I explain only suffering and the cessation of suffering. In another way, Buddha says, if there is something which arises in this world, that is suffering. If there is something which ceases in the world, that is also suffering. It has a very deep meaning. If you are wise, if you are intelligent, this is the thing that you have to understand again and again. Again I say, Buddha says, if there is something which arises, that is suffering. If there is something that ceases, that is also suffering. Whenever we take the world as permanent, we take the suffering. Whenever we reflect on impermanence, arising and ceasing of this experience, what do? We release the suffering. We overcome suffering. Whenever we reflect on impermanence or whenever we practice insight meditation, it means we are letting go. We are releasing from suffering. We come to understanding. With this understanding, we don't take anything as there is something or there isn't something. Always we understand the mentality and corporeality or the dependent or the five aggregates. They arise at the moment, they cease at the moment. Arising, ceasing. Whenever we see something is arising, we don't go to the extreme of nihilism or annihilism, 𝒗𝐿𝐶𝐻. Whenever we see something which is ceasing, we don't go to the extreme of eternalism or 𝑠𝑠𝑎𝑑𝑐. These both extremes, eternalism and nihilism, should be overcome by one vision, one message, one thing, which is Patisampada, the dependent origination. Iti imasmin satidang hoti, imasmin asatidang hoti. When this is, this is. When this is not, this is not. With this sublime message, with this understanding of this message, we gradually come to our understanding and liberation. Finally, we come to equanimity or 𝒶𝓃𝒾. That is the highest bliss. Mangala Sutta explained, Puttas loka dhammehi chittang yassana kampati. Among the worldly conditions, if a person can shake an unshakable mind, equal mind, that is the highest bliss in this world. We come to equanimity, we live equanimously with this understanding. Okay, friends in the Dhamma, on this Poya day, the first full moon Poya day of this new year 2026, you are so fortunate. Since last year, you are here. Since last week, you have been here. You have been listening to Dhamma. You have been practicing Dhamma. You ended last year with the Dhamma. You started this new year with the Dhamma. Still, you are in the Dhamma. Even though you leave this place, please try to keep your mind in the Dhamma. How do we keep our mind in the Dhamma? Reflecting on the three refuges, the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Understanding the Four Noble Truths, practicing mindfulness based on the Noble Eightfold Path. Whenever, wherever you practice this path, it means you are getting away from suffering. You are getting rid of suffering. Not only that, you are experiencing happiness in this present moment. Then you are not hurried to come to somewhere, and also you don't criticize anyone. If you criticize other people with anger, be sure you haven't met the Dhamma. If we have met the Dhamma, if we have come to the Dhamma, it means we don't need to criticize others, since if we criticize someone, it means we criticize our own mind. And also, if we appreciate someone, actually in deep meaning, we appreciate our sense, we appreciate ourselves, we appreciate our own mental formations. Always we associate the world which has been already ceased. With this understanding, always keep your mind in the present moment. Then you are always in the noble silence. Then you can listen to very, very beautiful sounds. You can listen to bird sound. You can see very beautiful flowers. You can see very beautiful weather. Even though it is snowing, that is so beautiful. We live in the present moment. We enjoy the world. And also day by day, we try to release our mind from the material world for our real liberation, for our enlightenment. Okay, for that, I wish you all the best. Please always try to practice this path, recollecting the qualities of the Triple Gem, the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, understanding the Four Noble Truths, practicing mindfulness based on the Noble Eightfold Path. And finally, we gradually come to equanimity. For that, I wish you all the best. By the power of this spirituality that you accrue through listening to Dhamma, may you be well, happy and peaceful. May all your spiritual goals meet its success. Finally, may all of us attain the supreme bliss of liberation. Sadhu, sadhu. Dukkhaṃ pantā ca nirdukkhaṃ, bhayaṃ pantā ca nirbhayaṃ, sokam pantā ca nissokam, hontu sabbe pipānino. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings attain the final bliss of liberation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.